I wake up at 28 years old, I was $50,000 in debt, couldn't sleep at night because it felt like I had bricks on my chest. I was 213 pounds, which for me and my frame was way overweight. I was prescribed Lipitor, I had to take blood thinners, and it was like a total disaster. What am I gonna do with my life? Like, I cannot take another day in this level of pain. I was at my breaking point, and my mom must have intuitively known it because I used to kind of hide a lot of this. I used to make it look like everything was okay on the outside. And she gives me a book. And in that book, she just writes in the front cover, "I believe in you." And it was in that moment, I'll never forget looking at the book. It gave me hope when I didn't have it. It gave me the possibility of a future that was bright when it seemed so dark and dim and nasty and just terrible all around me. And in that moment, one person who believed in me, because I was no longer believing in me, changed everything. And I took that in, and I remember crying, and I remember reading it, and I just kept reading it over and over. "I believe in you." And I kept picturing my mom. She would always say, "You can do anything you put your mind to," over and over and over. I said, you know what? This is my choice point. I get to either allow this situation to break me. I just give up on my dreams forever, and I do what everyone else is telling me to do. Everyone else is telling me to go get a job. Everyone else is telling me you're not good enough. People are laughing at me. And instead I said, you know what? I'm gonna borrow my mom's belief. Even though I'm 28 years old, between 28 and 30, I'm gonna set a date. And I had always wanted to sell a business by the time I was 30, but I'm gonna set a date and I'm gonna actually declare it. I'm gonna tell people that I'm gonna build and sell a company before I turn 30 years old. I got a tattoo on my chest with a goal on it, a cross, and inside the middle of that cross, it says Believe 2012 backwards. So if you look at me, you're like, what's that on your chest? What does that say? But in the mirror, every single day, I could look at myself, and every single day, I would look at it and just say, before I turn 30, I will have sold a business, and I will have achieved my dreams, and this is what my life will be like. And got into action. Started a business, people thought I was crazy, and I just kept pressing forward, and within 2 years, right before I turned 30, I sold the whole company before I turned 30, exactly like the tattoo stated. What I never would have expected in a million years was that it felt so empty. And it felt so empty because I didn't have anybody to enjoy it with. I was by myself. It was just me. I started crying, and I started thinking that I can't believe that I don't feel fulfilled by this. I need to figure out why I feel this way. And I said, well, I want love. After all this time, my greatest desire is love. I want to find the person that just lights me up, and where we're able to make each other happy, where we're able to just start a family together. Like, I want to feel that unconditional love. So I just started writing. I just started writing and writing all of the things that I wanted. Dark hair and green eyes and the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen in my life. And I made that declaration and I made that commitment. I'm gonna be engaged in the next 12 months, and read the letter every single day. When I'd come home from a blind date that was a total disaster, I would read that letter. When I'd come home after getting catfished, I would read that letter. I just had this full faith that it was gonna happen. Fast forward, in February, just a few months later, it was a completely random situation where I picked up my phone and the Tinder app was open. And from a picture, from just one photo, I literally knew that this woman would be my wife. Everything I had written about in my letter, the dark hair, the green eyes, like all of these things, like being so beautiful. And we went out on our first date. When we met, it was like everything that I had like seen in the movies. It was like we just stopped. You know that look where you look at each other and it's almost like your head kind of tilts a little bit? Our connection was instant. Our conversation was so deep and so connected so fast. I mean, it was like we've known each other our whole lives. All the things I'd written about in the letter about getting engaged, all of these things were in motion, happening faster than I ever thought possible. You know, from that, we just kept progressing until I ended up proposing. And I just thought to myself, I made it. I made it. This is what my mother saw in me. This is what I have been dreaming about since I was a little boy. I made it. What an experience that anything is possible in life. That you can change your way of being, that you can grow your confidence, that anything's possible. I declared that I was going to build and sell a company. I declared that I was going to find the love of my life. When you've got something that you want and you're willing to sacrifice and never ever let off the gas pedal no matter what the circumstance is, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you grow up, it doesn't matter what your current situation is, it doesn't matter if you're in debt, it doesn't matter what's going on around you, that any human being can set their eyes on a vision for their life. Every time that you speak your vision with your words out loud to other human beings, you're inflating it with hope, you're inflating it with belief, and you're inflating it with possibility that you will make it happen. And when the world or when someone tries to take that dream away, when someone else comes at you and says it's never going to happen, you can take that and leverage it, and you can say, I can, I will, watch me.